Hello and welcome to Noble Reporting. This is your host, Dale Noble, reporting. In the headlines this week, a GP college finally managed to silence the fascist Julia Hartley Brewer by removing her platform to speak. The First Nations peoples sent their representative, Senator Elizabeth Warren, to show solidarity with the LGBT+ community. President Trump showed solidarity with Fat Pride after attending a sumo wrestling tournament during his trip to Japan. In entertainment news, Primavera Sound finally achieved a 50-50 gender balance lineup, but it is only half as good as usual. And in sport, female tennis legend Serena Williams is knocked out of the French Open after starting and losing another fight with an umpire. But first, columnist Julia Hartley Brewer was left speechless this week, a first for a long time, no doubt. However, this was not accomplished through some erudite argument that caught her off guard. No, it was managed through removing her ability to access the platform. The Royal College of GPs decided on the course of action after a number of doctors signed a petition in opposition to Miss Hartley Brewer's invitation. They claimed that some of the views she has expressed are too much at odds with the core values of the Royal College of GPs and our members, and our work to promote inclusivity within the profession and among patients. This statement raises a number of concerns, from censorship to whether inclusivity extends to a difference in thought and politics. However, the most alarming part of this statement was the inclusion of patients into this list, suggesting that GPs will take issue with you if you rolled into A&E wearing a Make America Great Again cap. I suppose we should be relieved that if your politics are found out and the doctors provide you with cyanide rather than antibiotics, you receive the easy way out rather than dealing with this inanity. Presidential candidate for the Democrat Party, Elizabeth Warren, endorsed gay pride this week in an attempt to show solidarity with the LGBT+ community, when in fact we all know that these are the only people crazy enough to vote for the old loon. Senator Warren took to Twitter to publicly announce her virtue, declaring, #Pride Month is a celebration, and it's a time to remember the trailblazers who fought for the LGBTQ+ civil rights. Today and every day, we renew our commitment to fight until everyone can live proudly, without fear. I'll be right there alongside you. Happy #Pride. The Pride parades have come under fire in recent years for becoming increasingly debauched and sexually provocative. This affiliation and the cryptic statement, "I'll be there right alongside you," have led to suggestions that the 69-year-old might be living up to her age sake. This is not a recent trend for the Democrat, for in 2017, she posted a video on her YouTube channel demonstrating her dancing skills through the streets of Boston with a rainbow boa, showing an elegance that would be replicated in Theresa May's African tour last year. President Trump wrapped up his 4-day visit of Japan this week. He became the first world leader to meet with the newly installed Emperor Naruhito, citing the occasion a great honor after being seen as a fan of the hit anime series. The president was present to improve relations with the Far Eastern country, discussing bilateral trade agreements and the "it's complicated" relationship with North Korea. The trip ended with attendance to a sumo wrestling event that introduced a new prize called the President's Cup, a memento from his college football days. President Trump was seen to be enjoying the spectacle, possibly because the idea of two fat men running into each other holds some level of comedic effect, even for the most astute of minds. Trading one island nation for another, President Trump set his sights for the United Kingdom. Before he had even landed on the ground, President Trump had already enraged his opponents by backing Boris Johnson for the Conservative leadership and by labeling Sadiq Khan a stone-cold loser, which by all accounts hold up as true. The president's visit is to mark the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings, honouring the brave men that partook and died to liberate the rest of Europe. The irony of the so-called fascist and ill-informed attribution, remembering the men who fought against fascism, remains completely lost on those who have come out to protest him. Primavera Sound became the first major music festival to achieve a 50-50 gender lineup balance this week. The organisers of the event stated that they made the move for financial purposes, hearing that it would be 25% cheaper to run, but declared that they had been sold a myth. They also noted that the acts this year had been far more emotional and volatile, with mood swings occurring in the highest frequency since Jarvis Cocker of Pulp fame last performed in 2011, though his inclusion this year may have been the primary reason for this. Critics have since claimed that there cannot be a 50-50 gender equality, because gender is on a spectrum, and thus by reducing it down to two options, the event has marginalised the dozens of voices within the LGBTQ+ community. The statement finished with,
"It is simply not good enough. They have far more to go."
The amount of effort and stress that went into this year's festival has left the crew exhausted, and a spokesperson for the event exclaimed that they would not continue this for the next installment. And finally, Serena Williams was knocked out of the French Open in her third-round match to Sofia Kenin. The 37-year-old tennis star has struggled to re-enter the higher echelons of the game, no longer dominating the scene as she once did. It is believed that motherhood and age are what have caught up with the athlete, raising questions as to whether or not she should continue. Regardless, Williams reacted in her usual sportsmanlike way and called for a conference immediately to discuss the game, thus prematurely ejecting another player from their media obligations. The victim, Austrian fourth seed Dominic Thiem, complained to a tournament official about the incident, but was rebuffed with a statement that Serena was the bigger name, and that he needs to let go of his white male privilege in order to make room for a black woman. The recent antics of Serena Williams do little to engender public sympathy towards her, and perhaps suggest that she may come to the end of her once blemish-free career far sooner than she once hoped. That is all for this week. Thank you for tuning once more into Noble Reporting. See you next week.